What's going on, buddy? Let everybody read here. Quan, what's going on, buddy?
What about you?
I'm okay, man. Let me see. How can I put you up here? What's going on with you, buddy?
Hello, Doc. Hello, everyone.
Hey, I thought I'd go ahead and get started. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Doc. What about you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, remember when I brought up that subject of the human experience before?
I was just searching about it, and I just searched on Google that what is human experience in psychology. So it was telling that it is actually a whole of a person's experience, like his subjective experience towards the objective reality. If that's what I have understood.
Sure. Can I like Google it or anything like that? Let me see what happens if I. Okay, now go ahead. Continue to describe what you saw also,
So
and then
yeah.
I'll
So
you know
what
if
I
I'm,
have just
I'll let you
read
know,
is that.
and then I'll let you know if I'm talking about the same thing, right? Okay. So go ahead. But what are you talking about?
Okay, okay. So, according to my understanding, human experience is this entire range of a person's life, like their subjective perceptions, their emotions, their thoughts, those thoughts leading to their actions. So, like it encompasses the sum total of an individual's internal as well as external reality. So, is
Yeah,
that what we are talking about?
I mean, I was talking about something. Yeah, you know what? That's exactly um, what I'm talking about. But that's the limit. That's the limitations of the language, the words that the language is using. So you can't describe anything else beside behind their point. So I'm about to describe the events right beyond the points of those thoughts. Okay, so if the human experience is a collection of all the things that you are around, then that's the experience that you're having as a human, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, true.
That's a viewpoint of looking at the objects. But I'm talking about looking at what's behind the screen, the programming behind the screen.
So, like we are trying to find the cause behind the effect.
Because
Yeah.
remember, you always have a behind the scene. You always have to have a behind the scenes. If you don't have a behind the scenes, the object doesn't exist,
Yeah,
right?
like we are. Mhm.
Go ahead.
We are trying to analyze the software behind all these are actions.
Mhm.
Like if we consider this as hardware, then we are trying to analyze the software behind it.
Yeah, and the problem we have with our limited brain and our limited ability to process these things is that when you look at all the individuals events and look at them individually, they become too numerous to keep track of. There are too
Hmm.
many issues, right? But if you understand at the core of what produces all those things, you just need to understand that. And when you see that storm around you and things like that, you see the patterns and things like that. But you no longer have to focus on each individual event. Meaning, if you experience some type of traumatic event, you don't have to focus on that at all. Look at the pattern of all of these traumatic events, not just one.
Hmm.
At all of them. You just why focus on one? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the experience tells you, okay, I've had this bad experience, and then I had that one, and I had that one, and this is just the human experience. All right. Now, when I'm talking the human experience, I'm talking about go a little step further. You take each one of these experiences, you line them up, and you create a table. What do they all have in common? What's the
Hmm.
difference? Right? And they're gonna
Like
come
how?
down to it's gonna come down to the person next to you. After all of that stuff you've been going through, all the numbers, you go down that chart, it's gonna be one person who's in all categories.
Yeah, like no one is different. Like if the
Right.
thousand, yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
if thousand people are experiencing the same kind of symptoms, there is some kind of pattern. So we are trying to identify those patterns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So for example, right now, Trump changed the war on drugs, right? So he's just killing people. So if you are in the Gulf of Mexico fishing in that area, and all of a sudden, a bolt of lightning comes and blow you out the water and everything, it may be difficult to sort of understand what's going on if you decide the explosion, right?
Mm.
But if you understand that this is Trump, then you can expect a lot of those things to be coming live frequently. So you should
Wait,
never go towards those waters, right? It's the waters. Well, Trump is here, and those are waters. You don't do that.
wait, what is Trump doing? What am I missing?
Okay, so Trump changed the U.S. policy on fighting the war on drugs.
Oh, right.
Okay,
He's like attacking
Was-
ships of drug cartels, if I'm right. If I'm seeing the right news.
you know, let me just tell you what this man is doing.
Wait, I thought that was like against South America, like mainly it was targeted against them.
I mean, I saw one report that there's battleship. Here's Venezuela here. All right, here's
Oh,
Puerto
right.
Rico, Dominican Republic. Here's Cuba, and then here's Miami in the United States. Here, I saw something that's there like a lot of warships all around Venezuela, and so they are. I think somewhere in this area here, they're just boom, 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 blowing everybody out of the water. Let me show you.
Oh, that's just horrendous.
So can we share this on like screen on stage?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me know if I'm not describing something right. I thought that I was.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad author.
All right. So let me see here. Okay. So here's. Okay. Where is this? Okay. Okay. So how do I get? Okay. Let me see. Let me show. Okay. At the stage right here. Okay. Okay. Here, guys.
Alright, so that's a map.
Right. So here's South America here, here's North America, here's Venezuela here. And I was reading something on the news report that there are warships all around here and all in this area. And I believe all of the explosions and all the stuff is happening here. So what they're doing is they're just bombing the boats. Trump bomb.
Hmm. But Doc, isn't Mexico notorious for all these kind of things? Like, when did Venezuela come into the picture?
I mean, Venezuela is quite notorious for all this.
I mean, who knows? Trump.
My bad.
So it's like Brazil and like it's like entire South America is kind of notorious for all this.
Or maybe this is what is shown on media. Who knows?
True.
Scattered all over the ocean, big bags of cocaine and fentanyl all over the place. And it was, plus we have recorded evidence that they were leaving. We know what time they were leaving, when they were leaving, what they had, and all of the other things that you'd like to have. But we have noticed that there are no ships in the ocean anymore. We're seeing that there's like no ships, when the first one we went, there were hundreds of boats. Now there are no boats. I wonder why, meaning no drugs are coming across, probably stopping some fishermen too. This was a boat.
After a series of deadly U.S. strikes against boats the Trump administration says were smuggling drugs into the U.S., tonight we're learning that
This man.
at least 2 people on board survived the blast, according to 2 U.S. officials. U.S. Navy helicopters were overhead and a boat picked them up, the officials said. They remain in U.S. custody tonight. President Trump describing the strike.
We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs. Just so you understand, this was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines.
The president appearing to reference a semi-submersible like this one that authorities say cartels use to smuggle drugs. This is the sixth boat the U.S. military has struck in international waters, killing at least 29 people, according to the Trump administration. Though some in Congress are questioning whether the strikes are legal.
And we're on.
Yeah, this is interesting here. Let me see here.
With AI,
You can create any character you want in seconds.
this used to require huge Hollywood
That's
budgets,
us. That's us
complex
right there,
software, and tons of time.
But right now, all you need is a
The U.S. striking another alleged drug vessel in the waters off Venezuela. This is now the fifth boat to be struck by the U.S. in the Southern Caribbean in Trump's battle with international drug trafficking, bringing the number of people killed to nearly 30. Here's Washington, D.C. Bureau reporter Ross Ketchke.
Yeah, but I don't know how we got off on that. I don't know how we got off on that. But I was talking about the human experience and how I think what I'm gonna describe, the human experience I'm talking about is something beyond that. So I don't think you can actually describe it in this realm. It's sort of the blueprint of what's going on behind the scene. If you understand the human experiences, so you sort of understand where you're at in the larger story, right? So remember, let me.
You know your own position, right?
Yeah, and then remember, this is reality. So there's no. I told you, I've never found any more fundamental reflection of reality than the human experience, because it helps me understand exactly where I'm at in just almost every experience that I have. So you get lost in the individual experience and lose the big pictures, but this is the big picture, because you're programmed this way, and there's no way that you can escape the human experience.
Right. Yeah.
So
Sounds
that's
like reality, yeah.
It's like Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis. Am I right?
Well, okay, let me just explain it to you. Let's go through it again, because I believe I gave you guys a run at the first time, and it takes a while to sort of understand the significance of what I'm saying.
Sure.
So imagine that's right. Me and you two are souls, right? And we're flying over a huge body of water, and it takes us 3,000 years we've been flying for 3,000 years, and then all of a sudden, you see a dot in the water, and you say, "Well, Dr. Reed, what's that?" I say, "That's an island." You say, "Can we go see the island?" I say, "Yes, we can go see the island." So we start flying towards the island. It takes us 500 years to get closer to that island, so that you can see that there's a black ring around the island.
Okay.
Right? Did I tell y'all this story before?
I think you did,
I
but
don't think so.
Okay. All right. Okay.
but we don't remember it.
Okay. Well, you would have remembered this one. You would remember this one, Ken. Okay. So there's a ring around the island. It's a black ring. You say, "Well, Dr. Reed, what's the black ring around the island out here in the middle of nowhere in the water?" I said, "Hey, those are a flock of birds." He said, "Well, those are birds?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Let's fly down and see them." So it takes around 30 years to fly closer to the birds so you can see them closer. Huge flocks of birds. Huge blocks of birds and everything. Birds are massive. You can see, it takes you 30 years to see an individual bird. You have to fly 30 years to see how big these birds are, right?
Yeah.
And they're flying around this.
Right.
And I don't know how many of them are there, and they're all flying around in clockwise manner, and all along the perimeter and stuff like that. And you said, "Well, how long these birds been here?" I said, "I know these birds have been here. They developed here from nothing. They've always been here. They developed from nothing. How long is nothing? Around 3 million. I would say maybe a billion years, maybe something like that. I don't know how long they've been here. I know a long time. Look how many of them they are. Look how they're flying." Right? And so and then, so we're mesmerized with it. So we're watching the birds 1,000 years pass by. We watch the birds 1,000 years pass by. And then all of a sudden, one of the birds get a mutation in the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Right?
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
And it spasms, right? It don't work well, it spasms. And so when it spasms, it turns its head 30 degrees to the right.
30
Okay.
degrees to the right. Okay.
Like,
Well, all the birds are flying, and they've been doing this since all no one's this is the way it is, and they're all flying and everything. And then all of a sudden, you have one bird with his head oriented 30 degrees different than everybody else's.
so what's the reason behind this
Right.
evolution?
Random genetic mutations.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something I read in biology.
Well, look, we've been flying for like 4,000 years. You get a mutation after 5,000 years, right?
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like, but like
It took us
mutation.
30 years to fly and look at the birds, and we sat for 1,000 years.
Mm.
But like we need like mutations for like the mutations and evolutions we have. It's like for a specific cause. So like if it's like the survival of the fittest, if it's like for the betterment and improvement. But like
Yeah,
why
like,
does random mutation happen?
When does it happen?
Why does
Why do-
random mutation?
For diversity, for the species to survive,
But
right?
why is it random then? Why is it random then?
Because it's a change in the base pair, but the impact it's going to have in the host is unknown. It may be a mutation that makes it such that the host can't live, right? They may have mutations all the time, but they may not be able to survive. They may not be able to thrive, right? But this type of mutation is different because it's only affecting one little muscle and not just turning the head 30 degrees, but they still got the flight. Everything's still cool, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And just a
Yeah,
mutation.
makes sense now.
Guys, we've been watching this for 3,000 years. Of course, one mutation. If it's been going for a billion years and one mutation,
Mm.
okay, so what it does is it changes the orientation of that bird's head by 30 degrees. And so now that one bird can see a second island.
Yes.
Oh,
Right?
wow, that makes sense now. Yeah.
Oh, y'all got me now?
Yeah.
Remember when you get that inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
right? And you go tell somebody and try to get them involved. Try to get someone involved in what inspires you the most. They look at you like, oh, yeah, that's nice.
Mm.
Right? Okay, that mutation. Now, when the bird sees that island from the different orientation. Now, when that bird sees the island, now the bird has two realities.
Yeah.
The reality of the birds who cannot see the
Mm.
island, and the reality of the one bird who now can see the island.
Like reality of a flock and an individual reality.
Correct. You getting it? You getting it? You getting it? You
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
it? Individual. Also individuation.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
I read this somewhere that humans used to have, I just do not remember exactly what it was. Maybe it was X-ray vision or ultra vision, but like over the years when it was not of use to us. So like with mutations, we lost that ability now.
I doubt that.
To like,
I think it did.
like to
I think
mutate.
it, yeah.
I didn't understand. Like we lost our ability to mutate ourselves, like create.
No, not mutate ourselves. I read this somewhere. It's basically a fact that humans used to have. I don't remember if it was like ultra vision, X-ray vision. It was some of those, but humans used to have one of those. But
So
like
like
over
we
the years,
used to see in X-rays and infrared rays, and then we got mutated.
yeah,
That's
it
what
was one of them. It was one of them. I just do not remember exactly what it was.
I doubt.
That'll be hard to believe. I think they're trying to
Yeah,
say
exactly.
these sensory experiences are part of being human. So you can receive the vibrations and have your nervous system interpret what it is. Like if somebody wants to really harm you, you can just look at the situation and understand everything. It's about to go down, right? You can say ESP, or it's just that human sensory component called NI. It's introverted intuition.
Mm.
Right? And then people have extroverted intuition, meaning it broadcasts out. You broadcast these things out into environment and people pick up your intentions. And well, people pick up your vibe and we call it what you're intending on doing. I pick up this vibe. What is it vibe intending on? But you've acknowledged that you picked up the vibe. That's that communication. I think that communication right there. My point is to help you guys understand that that's very, very important. That's a fundamental part of your everyday decision making. Is look at that and say, what is it saying, and go with that. Forget everything.
Oh, but wouldn't that be influence then?
Yes, absolutely. But
Right.
it comes from your higher self, though, and which is what you want. Influence from the higher qualities that you have, not the lower qualities. So let me go back to the human experience. So when they get that mutation, and so now when that bird sees that new island, now that bird's perspective is completely different now,
Right, exactly, yeah.
right?
Gives them an itch, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Now that bird, at that point, that bird has a serious problem. That bird, if that bird were to tell the people next to it that, hey, there's an island over there, they're gonna say, no, there's not.
Yeah. You are
Because they don't
crazy.
see it.
And then they're gonna say, well, all you have to do is turn your head. They're gonna say, what head? What's a head? No, your head is on your neck. What's a neck?
Mm.
Oh,
Right? And
exactly, yeah.
so remember, you get that inspiration, you come in uplifting people with the things you know. And how many people actually accepted it?
Like,
The
You
ones
will be left out in that
Yeah, the
situation.
ones who love you tolerate it.
the
Like,
hot one now.
yeah, and then boom, back to their business, right?
Mm.
Nobody's interested in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if he keeps telling them that there's an island over there, or he keeps trying to fight for his reality, he's going to disrupt the operations of the whole flock.
Yeah.
And if anybody starts to believe like him, then it's going to decrease everything. It's going to cause disruptions for the flock. And it can
So he might get killed.
Some of the birds may won't tolerate his thinking because there's no evidence that anything he's saying is absolutely true.
Yeah.
His mutation turned his head. Now he sees a different orientation. No one else sees it. So there is no way anybody going to sign on your perspective or their reality. It's not. I think that's the basis of the saying when it says that there are no saints are not welcomed at home. You
Mm.
get that
Right.
inspiration.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You get the inspiration.
Yeah.
They're all one out. All one out, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the question. So those dynamics between the group and the individuals are inescapable,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You simply have to understand where you're at, particularly in that flock, right?
Yeah. Exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, and then you're going to have to learn how to fake fly and do everything, mimic everything in order to fit in. So even if you don't believe the things, you still have to mimic the behavior of the flock in order to fit in.
Mm. So you just have to pretend that.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you
Yeah.
make it. Well, you go when you realize you got that inspiration, things change, and you have to go back into those systems, and you have to fake it and tolerate it until you make it. But you cannot change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Status quo cannot
That's
be
like the
challenged.
reality, yeah.
Yep. And then you're gonna have to and then there's something else when you compartmentalize in that reality. You have to descend from your reality to go back into that reality. I mean, you have to unbelieve all the stuff you just learned.
Yeah,
That's
you have
like-
to lower your consciousness. Yeah.
Remember, can you imagine like you away at school and then you have to return home into the same conflicts that y'all were dealing with before? You know what I'm saying? You got me?
No, I
what?
got confused.
Yeah. The returning from school bit, we
Okay.
couldn't understand that.
You're at school as your own independent person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely.
But when you
yeah.
go home, that ain't you no more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I hate that.
Total shift in personality.
I hate that. You know that
I experience that every day. I experience that every day.
every day. You ain't like that no more. So you still have to go through the behaviors at home, even though you don't believe them anymore, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like at university, I'm like myself. I'm like the most independent person. I'm this and that. And as soon as I'm home, it's all over.
Oh, I thought you go back to the baby when you get home. I thought you stay an
Exactly.
adult. Oh, you go back to baby mode. Oh, you go to school and play adult and then come back and play baby. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you understand. She goes back and welcome the flock. She goes back to the flock and enjoys flying again, right? I mean, that's cool.
Exactly.
Listen, hey, nothing's wrong with that. That's really good. Now,
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Oh, so you don't like that you regress back to childhood?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. As long as it's reserved to home, then that's good because you guys will always get along.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but once you leave home, you're gonna have to get back to your higher self, because that regression is you create anything in that state of regression, and none of those things are gonna survive because nothing's anything you create within type of delusional, distorted system can't outlast reality. Right, because otherwise people will live in delusions and they'll be prosperous. If you were in a delusion and the work you created in delusion was more profitable than the work you create was it may be more profitable, but it has a characteristic to it. You can't keep it. See, that's the thing. In the lower densities, the money is always circulating. Can nobody keep it for any appreciable amount of time to do anything of any value with it? That's why they call it fast money.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, got it.
Think about, like the drug dealers, the drug lords, and all that stuff. Why they always end up at the same places, in the grave or in jail or something like that, with all of this apparent money, right? Because they are living in delusional systems, and those delusional systems are very acute, meaning very intense. And so the money roars, the emotions roars, the women roars, right? The alcohol roars, right? The cars roars, and everything crashes at the end.
Right. I mean, there was one point I used to find them cool.
When you're a child, and they do too, because none of them think about the duality and how it's going to actually come to an end. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Escape it and stuff like that. It's not going to happen to them, boy. It's something else. Okay, so this is the human experience, but you can't get out of. I mean, you're stuck with it, and so that's why it's important for you to live in reality, because you have to manage this. If you are in fantasy, then you remain inside the blocks, inside the flock, listening and focusing on the other birds who reinforce your delusions of the system.
Right. But I mean, like if you're living in a fantasy and you think you have a certain set of belief for yourself, or maybe like for how the things are gonna work, that's not necessarily bad, is it?
No, it's not a fantasy, but you can't live in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't plan in it.
Right.
Right. Okay. So let's say I'm in a relationship with a person who really don't love me. So I'm not really in a relationship. And if I try to build whatever I try to build in that relationship, it don't exist. I'm gonna try and build I'm gonna try to build love in a relationship that exists with a person who don't love me. It can't happen. Right? That love is going to have to come to an end before real love does. Because if fake love outlasts real love, we're all in trouble. People prefer fake love over real love because it lasts longer. Right? Fake love can't outlast real love.
Exactly. Yeah, true.
I mean, we can fantasize about
it's programmed in the environment.
Exactly what I was going to say. You can fantasize.
We can fantasize about it. We can write poetries about it, but we cannot associate ourselves with that thing, or it will cost us.
Well,
like you'll never be able to live in it.
Right, but then here's another characteristic looking behind the scenes when you're talking about these things that come and go really quickly. Is that these are objects that are not stable, meaning their lifespans are very short. From creation to beginning, middle, and end is very short and volatile. And all of these objects that are created in that 3D by primitive defense mechanisms all have the same qualities, right? So remember, the brain is a projector. The brain renders this world. This is a projected world, right? And the
Yeah.
characters play out the role that your brain projects onto the objects,
Mm.
right?
Right. Oh,
True,
wow.
true.
Complex,
Okay,
Mr.
okay, let me show you how this works. Walk down in a crowd and frown at somebody, and watch how the movie changes. They are actually going to come talk close to you and start engaging with you in a way that you don't like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's something you wanted?
I'm sorry? No, but that's
But-
your mind. That's your mind creating a reality that's now approaching you, and you're inside the reality now. You reap what you sow. So if I'm in a crowd of people, random people, and I just start, then somebody's going to come up to me and they're going to give me the results of what I just created, beginning, middle, and end.
And then,
But
yeah.
I'm not going to send that message out there and then just go out there and not be and not come back. It's going to come back some way.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So this brain is a projector. It creates your experiences. And when you use primitive defense mechanisms, the only thing it can create is those short-lived, highly volatile objects that cannot stay around for long. And if you are highly attached to these things, then you are traumatized when they're gone. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, like, yeah.
Remember the story?
Yeah,
You know, I
it's
loved him.
different.
Remember the stories? I loved him so much, but he was a heavy drinker.
Oh, yeah.
So if he's drinking, he's in that primitive world, and she's living in a primitive world, and now they can't hold on to anything. Everything is leaving. They can't maintain anything. Everything is falling apart around them. Stuff like that. Why? Because he's created the world that they're living in, and there's nothing that is impossible. And this world is so impoverished. This is a check to check world.
Check world, yeah.
You have to live from check to check.
Mm.
Yeah, well. Okay,
Remember,
okay.
all the bad stuff, it can't prosper. Okay. So you are stuck in that. So while you're in that flock, you use those primitive defense mechanisms. It's going to be tough for you up in there. Now, your question is how long does it take to get to the island that I saw?
Oh, right. Okay.
How much does it take? Like, let's say, how much energy does it take, or how much time does it take to get there? Right? Anybody got an idea about how much energy it'll take to get to the island that you just saw? Because think about this. All the birds have been on this island. No one has ever been on that island. You will be the first. You'll own it. You get there, you set up, you put your bird cages here, you put your there, and everything can be kabod. It's go.
Yeah.
Okay, how long?
You have no blueprint. Yeah.
Yeah, how long? But this is a concept because we're talking about the mechanism behind reality. So how do I get to my dream when I'm stuck?
Chasing it, yeah.
When I'm stuck and mesh and all these sick ass people around me, sick ass unconscious people.
Then you get rid of them.
Now you talking about pushing the birds. You know what they're gonna do to you, and you know how big they are. Remember how big they were?
We cannot fight them. Yeah.
Well, then you take a different approach.
What's the approach?
Look, you said that you have to run away from them.
Okay, hold on for a second. That's what you said and everything. I'm trying to see what you're going to do in this situation. But you're in a situation where you can stay where you're at, but you're going to have to ignore that reality exists. Or you're going to have to make a decision to leave the flock and go to that island. That's your decision. Because remember, no one's going to ever believe that island is there because they haven't had the same mutation.
Yeah.
Well,
what do
if you go there, then you make them follow you, and then they'll see the island as well.
Nah, but they will find you crazy and they will kill you before they would even.
Just see, like, what if you're going, and then you're fast enough, you take that way, and then you see, and then they'll follow you, and then they'll see the island as well.
Okay,
that is
okay. You gonna negotiate that with reality? How? I mean, how you gonna negotiate that with
That's
reality?
idealistic way of
Write,
thinking.
write reality a letter and shit. How you gonna get that into the story, man?
What Alicia is
Yeah.
saying, it is possible in utopian world, but not in this kind of world.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically, and you know what, Alicia, I think you mentioned something like this too, and Kwame, I think you hinted on something like this and everything. You're gonna have to go ahead and chase your dream, whatever there's there in your heart. Listen, that flock represents the past, right? And that flock is the unconscious super ego that exists that must be shed in order for you to become a new person. That flock right there is the shell that comes off the caterpillar when it converts to a butterfly.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's the ego that is holding you back, the flock.
Correct. And that's the ego. In order for you to end your suffering, you have to ascend the ego. You have to escape the ego. But while you're in that flock, there's very important rules that you never want to do things that in that flock, when you fly, you want to get your form right. So every flap is like that creates a tidal wave that benefits everybody else and makes the whole trip. So what you want to do and then you don't want to be just shaking and creating so much disturbances in the flock, meaning that the things you do, the things you produce need to be stable for that community.
Yeah, you have.
Oh, right.
Even though you don't believe in it and you ascended beyond it. You know, just like right now, I don't know what it's like in your country, but in this country, you know, the oldest generation are called boomers. And these
Same here.
These are the worst people ever. I mean, I've never heard a group of people who only think about themselves. They hog all the resources in society. I mean, make all the rules, commit all the violence. I mean, these old people, I mean, I've never met all the Karens are like boomers. Y'all know what Karens are?
Yes. I do.
You know,
Yes.
you gotta deal with them. You even
Exactly.
gotta deal with these type of people because they're in the flock also, and you have to find ways to be beneficial to everybody. So while you're in the flock, you cannot use primitive defense mechanisms because that's the only way to create these short volatile objects that disrupt the flock. So you can never do things like devalue people. You can never idealize people, right? You can never displace your anger onto other people. You can never repress your anger. You can never project your anger out to the issues on it. You're gonna have to, if you're gonna deal with it. There's 3 levels in the ego. The primitive level, like we're talking about, that's there only to destroy things. The secondary level, which is intellectualization, that's where y'all are at now.
So in conclusion, you just have to be like considerate.
Well, yeah. See, you're in intellectualization because you guys in college and stuff like that. You're getting the intellectual mind together. Right. And then after the intellectual mind, you guys going to get into relationships and stuff like that. And those relationships and those things are going to torture you. And while you're torturing you, you're going to learn the highest level of your ego, sublimation, meaning you're going to be stuck in some type of torturous situation that you can't get out of because of your societal obligations. You're going to be forced to take those very bad situations and turn for things that benefit you and the people around you. That's called sublimation. You take the hot irons and you build your golden calf, or you take the lumbers of wood and you build your ship. That's sublimation, right? So
Can you explain this concept again? Sublimation. This.
Okay. There's 3 levels of the ego. The primitive. The first level is the primitive defense mechanisms, and so let me go ahead and show you what these are, real quick. So defense mechanisms are how your ego protects you against fear and harm and things like that. So primitive defense mechanisms are early often unconscious psychological strategies to protect against anxiety, including denial, splitting, projection, acting out in fantasies. So these are these are the way primitive egos handle stress. They deny, they refuse, deny that they even did it. Come on, listen, see, okay, when you guys get around me more, you're going to have to stop acting like students because you're not students. You know this already. You know how they act. It's like at least you know how these people act. They deny that they even did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So I haven't told y'all anything new. They deny that you did it, right? Here, splitting. View people in situations either all good or bad. You know that already. Then they blame you, right? And then you ain't nothing. Start talking about you, right?
Yeah, they gaslight you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And here, acting out, projection, attributing one's own unacceptable feelings, thoughts to another person, blaming you for their issue. Acting out their emotions as opposed to talking about them. Right?
Oh, right. Okay. Fantasy.
Fantasy, here's what you're talking about. You're saying I don't want to go back to childhood anymore.
Yeah.
You want to stop that. Yeah, look, this is the worst.
Gratification.
Ooh-wee, this is the worst. Ooh-wee. This is the worst right there. And passing.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Complex. I'll show y'all that later. It's a bit complex, But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. They
primitive defense mechanisms.
Yeah, primitive defense. And so if you are going to be in the ego, meaning if you're going to be in a flock, then you want to make sure that you do not use primitive defense mechanisms because they all produce objects that are short-term and highly volatile. And remember, that's why that not only applies to behavior when you're in that video world, it also applies to your thoughts because your thoughts are going to create the actual world.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's two worlds. There's this primitive world, and then you have the one that's created by your higher self that you have to learn to sort of begin to use. But this is the default one that you're born with, right? And this is outside of the ego, right?
Yeah.
This is outside of the ego, right? And so the lower stage is the primitive defense mechanisms. And then you have the second stage up, which is intellectualization.
Okay.
Now you got intellectualization.
Okay, I'm confused there.
Intellectual when you make everything intellectual, logic.
Okay, rationalize it.
That's what you're doing. You're in a rationalizing machine. Now college is a rationalization machine.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? You just sitting there rationalizing everything, right? Intellectualizing that, you putting information in your brain, right? Intellectualization, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Isn't intellectualization isn't intellectualization is a thing which actually leads to that higher self? So how
it's the pathway, it's the road, it's steps. These are levels of development.
Yeah.
So for example, here's intellectualization. Okay, I was walking down Walmart and this knucklehead kid, he was like 6 years old. He took the shopping cart and he running and bam, and he kicked in my leg and he just looked at me. And you know what I did? I looked at him and I just kept walking. Said to myself, that's a badass kid. I'm mad at him. I hope you don't do that shit with him. Let me get the fuck away from him because I know his mama gonna be worse.
That stuff is so common these days. Yeah, definitely.
That's intellectualization. Use my logic to react to the situation as opposed to smacking the kid. You don't have a right to hit my leg. Pow! Right? So
then, I mean, so there is this intellectualization that you were trying to.
So I hit the kid. So you're never going to run into the situation with now he primitive. So, so whatever he produces is going to be those short-term objects, going to be very volatile. So I don't want to engage with him.
Right.
I only want to sorry and run.
So I have this thing here because
whatever I do to engage in that kid will produce another one of those objects. So if I hit him, it's going to be another one of those objects, right?
It's like
I have to deal with his mama, his daddy, the supermarket, the police. There's going to be a couple of Karens in there, you know.
it's like yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the kid, bam, hit my leg. What am I going to do? Now, this really didn't happen, but what do you do, right? And so that's the thing. You deal with these primitive people. There's no response that you can have that won't be primitive, right? Because intellectualization means you just look at it but don't do a damn thing.
right, but like so you basically saw him and then you left him, and that you're saying is the example of like intellectualization. But what if you had reacted to it but if you had done that, so you'll know that there's something that's stopping him. So now there's like, even if his mother were to react like badly to it, at least they'll know that this is something bad and it has to be stopped. Wouldn't that be intellectualization as well, that thing?
Yeah, I mean, whatever reasoning or logic I can use to react appropriately to the situation would be, without reacting to the situation, would be intellectualization. So intellectualization is when so here's the intellectualization part of that. I recognize that he's just 5 years old and I'm a grown man, and grown men don't fight 5-year-olds. They do this shit all the time and you just move on. Don't make it a big deal out of it. Why you make this is a 5-year-old, and plus if you hit that 5, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble and you're gonna have to go to court and then they're gonna have DCF. That's intellectualization. So I never actually do the behavior.
So it's like avoiding butterfly effect. Do you know about butterfly effect?
Yeah, I mean, avoiding the butterfly effect is the same thing as avoiding the appearance of impropriety.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You want to avoid the appearance of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at this interesting situation with the kid, because there's no response that you couldn't have with this kid that would be primitive.
Exactly. Yeah, I
There's
totally
no
get that.
response. You can't even comfort the kid if the kid hits you, because the comfort can be reframed as something else. And this is not your kid. You should have any contact with this damn kid. You shouldn't say anything at all.
Right.
If you tried to pick the kid up, what are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you picking this kid up? This ain't your kid. I'm trying to kid you. If the kid hurt himself in the process of trying to hurt you, you still responsible for it.
Yeah.
And you still gotta act like you on the welfare of the kid.
You will be blamed for it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You gotta put up that performance, right? I just get out of there, man. Just keep rolling and never look back.
I mean, yeah, that's the wise decision there. That's the only option you have there.
Right? Just keep going. Leave it behind. Okay, so how much does the time? How do you get to that island? Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to ask. Then how do we chase our dreams?
Right.
If we have to follow the rules.
Understand concepts. No matter what the dream is, it's just an island. No matter what the dream is, right?
Right.
Ooh. What's that? That was weird. Are y'all still there?
Dog, I had just lost my
Can y'all hear me?
internet connection. Yeah, I can.
Lost mine too. Alicia's still frozen. You still there, Alicia?
I think this is a worldwide issue.
Let me remove these. You know, I can see you down here, but I can't see Alicia.
I think well, I can only see her frozen frame, nothing else.